Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report here on Piper Academy. Guys, we got a little thing here yesterday. We talked about on this level for Bitcoin. I said, watch this level right here. I said, there's a lot of support there coming from previous ranges. Watch for a bounce there, guys. Exactly where we got the bounce. Matter of fact, taking a look over here at what we're seeing, guys, we got a lot of green on the here on the charts today on the bubbles, and we're looking at this retail data that just came in today. We're going to talk about that. Plus, there's a lot of things going on with stocks right now that are making me wonder if we're going to get that soft landing and what happens if we do. Guys, we're going to look at that and a whole lot more today on the Morning Market Report. Let's get it. Class is in session. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I'm Army Piper, and this is the Morning Market Report. We bring you the economics, the data, the news, the technical analysis, everything that you need to have knowledge, because knowledge is profit. But I don't do the show alone. I got a team. There's a whole team. It takes a village, takes a team. That's right. Let's go ahead and bring them all up here. It is the Tradefly and the OC guy. Tradefly finishing his breakfast, drinking his coffee. I'm with you, man. Drink the coffee. It's good stuff. But what's up, man?
Well, not a whole lot. You definitely caught me eating my muffin. I told you before the show I love my muffins. But with that being said, hey, it's good to be here. Love doing the morning show with you guys. Hope everyone is doing well and excited to see where we think price action is going. I thought it was going to continue down just a little bit, touch a little area of support before we saw a bounce. It looks like we got a pretty quick rebound. So should be interesting. So looking forward to talking about it with you guys. And actually, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to swallow this muffin. And then I'm going to give some call outs in the chat. Let's go ahead and do that. So my dude, BC Pork Corp's in the chat. Username's in here. Donato Cabrera. How you doing? Alexander G, best mind in the house. Buck, my Marine. How you doing, my dude? Joe, Trade Intuition is in here. Kyle Fields with a yo. Did I give username? Yes, I did already. Crux of Crypto's in here. What's up, my guy? Harp's in the house. Wick's fine. Wick's wife fine 89 is in the chat.
That's two dub.
Dub. All sets in here. Ninja Glock. FD White, my dude, is in here. Randy, is it Abbat? That's one of yours, isn't it?
Yeah, he's here all the time. He's a regular. He's a regular. He's got his own seat at the bar. Keeps his beer glass behind the bar with his name on it. You know. Yep.
Randy's I have to work on that pronunciation. I have to work on that. But the Dusty Hunt's in here, and if Harp, I think I might have said you, but if not, what's up? Warrior 4588 in the house. CJ Taylor, how you doing? And I think that is it.
Awesome. OC, how are you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I mean, it's been a good day. We're going back down up into a little bit of a channel retest. That's the only thing that is kind of like keeping me worried. I mean, I'm still open up into my short. I already have taken a couple of 50% out of my position. So I'm just chilling in that way. But I really want to see Bitcoin kind of like just breaking things up to the upside and start moving up. I mean, I don't know if we're going to have it. Things are mixed matching in here, kind of like a little bit of a bullish sentiment for one side, bearish data for other side. But so far, it's just playing out okay, let's just say. So, but yeah, other than that, doing great.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and let's jump into the news because we got a lot of stuff to go over today. We're going to unpack a lot today, guys. Pretty much TA today is going to consist of Bitcoin, and maybe we'll be able to squeeze in one or two there on some altcoins, but we got to take a look at Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance after this news. And we got a lot of articles that are going to set up the narrative that I'm expecting the rest of this week. So without any further ado, let's get to the news, guys. Brought to you by Decrypted.tax here on the Morning Market Report every day. Brought to you by our trusted tax official. Check out the links below. Get a free consultation, guys. We are looking right now at the Fear and Greed Index. Market cap sitting at $2.1 trillion. That's Crux's sweet spot. He likes it when it's there. He likes that $0.1 trillion buffer on the $2 trillion. You know what's a tenth of $1 trillion? It's nothing. Ask the federal government. Looking at the volume here, though, guys, I do see this. we have this dropping volume at the same time that we've got this rising market cap. This typically happens right before we get these sell-offs again because it's weak volume, right? This is weak volume coming in because it's not really backed by a whole lot of, people. There's not a lot of volume. There's not a lot of energy behind that growth movement, okay? So watching it here, though, guys, we are sitting at 33. I thought that we might head back down, and that's what we did. Yesterday, we talked about that 39, said, hey, we could be heading back down to 33, or back down to lower levels, and that's what happened there. So keeping an eye on that. But, guys, look at the Bitcoin dominance. This is actually not correct. I'm looking at Bitcoin dominance right here, and it's 58% on my chart. We're going to be looking at that in a second here. Let's jump into the crypto bubbles, and let's take a look after a refreshed daily look. There we go. TIA up 14%, SUI up 8.3, Tau up 8.8, IMX, Immutable X, guys, up 16.1%. Let's go down and take a look at this little chart here. Let's see, Bitcoin up 1.6%, Ethereum up 1.2% on the daily here. What else? Solana not doing as well as Bitcoin. XRP still riding that wave of good news that they got, up 2.5%. Toncoin up about 0.6%. Anything else here? Cardano fighting to hold in that lower 30s. Much love to the Cardano people. ADA, they are determined to ride this thing to a moonshot. I'm just saying. Avalanche up 1.1%. Let's go down. We're in the top 20 here. Near Protocol getting a pretty good move today, 3.6%. But overall, SUI pretty much a top runner right now at 8.3%, and then Immutable X, like we just talked about, at 16.1. So not looking too bad here today. Why? Well, because they got this economic data that came in this morning called retail sales. And I told you guys, I was watching closely because retail sales was going to be the next major sector of industry that I needed to see the numbers on. Construction, not doing great. Manufacturing, not doing great. Retail sales, I wanted to see it not doing great. And I'll tell you why. Because manufacturing, okay, yeah, they're catching up with supply, right? If they can overtake supply demand, then that will lower inflation. Construction, it is what it is. They're slow. That is the blood. That's the veins, the heartbeat of the economy. And if they're slowing down construction, it could be stagnating, right? It doesn't necessarily mean anything bad. Retail sales came in, first of all, they revised a 1% from last month to a 1.1%. So look, a number got revised up, first time ever. But we also came in another 0.1% higher this month. We were expected to be down 0.2 to 0.3%. This actually makes me think that we could see Jerome Powell make a few changes tomorrow, because if he's looking at second and third order effects of retail sales increasing, when we've already seen on the threshold, we've seen mixed inflation numbers come in, right? Some of them have been neutral, some of them have been a little worse, some of them have been a little better. Retail sales increasing tells us, gives us a story that we could see a little bit of the economy of the inflation return down the road. Okay, not an immediate thing. This is a lagging indicator, but let's take a look here at what retail sales looks like excluding automobiles. Well, hey, it was supposed to be 0.2, 0.3, actually came in at 0.1%, didn't come in as high there. So is it automobiles? But that could be the case. That really could be the case. Retail sales excluding gas and autos, that is pretty much came in less. So it looks like it's a lot of car sales. So I think, let's come over here and talk about this. I think we're looking at an interesting picture here with retail sales. Retail sales comes in a little hotter, like 0.3 to 0.4%, almost 0.5% from the consensus or from the forecast. Comes in a little hotter than expected. Sets up, hey, look, retail sales are good. But when we drill down into these sub-retail categories, we see that it's, excluding the autos, it did not do as good as they expected it to do. So is a lot of this retail sales coming from cars automobiles, and that this is people front running buying new cars. They've been waiting to get a car when the rates look like they're going to be coming down, and they're like, I can refinance this in 6 months to a year, whatever. I'm going to kick it over to you, Trey Fly, because this one's going to be more in your alley of experience here in the U.S. market, car market, right? Is that what we see going on here? Is that what we have happening? As people just said, I'm going to wait till the rates look like they're coming down, then buy my new car, and I'll ride this thing, this junker as the muffler's falling off, and now that's that time. Is that what's going on?
I think it's a combination. And when I say that, prices are up, inflation, right? So vehicles that used to cost 40 to 50,000 are now costing 60 to 80,000, right? You're seeing a huge increase in just what those vehicles cost. Especially like the larger SUVs and the trucks. You're seeing a lot of those sit on the lots right now. If you look on YouTube, do a couple searches, you'll see that definitely is a thing that's happening. And with that, the rates are high. So the rates for just loans themselves, auto loans are high, like you said. So, okay, now we're adding another piece of the pie. If we're saying that we have less disposable income, we've now increased the prices of a vehicle and we have increased the APR that you have to pay. I mean, think about how much more you have to pay for a vehicle. So it makes a lot of sense to stay in something that you already have with a lower interest rate. And like you said, ride it till the wheels fall off. Now, yes, people will play that game, but also you're seeing now some of the manufacturers starting to bring back those 1.9% APRs and significant rebates or deals on vehicles that we haven't seen in quite some time. I think that they're hurting and they're trying to get some of this inventory off the lots. So I think you're going to see probably a pretty quick shift here, I would say, in probably the next month or 2 months. And you're actually seeing that on the housing market as well. Very similar, that you're seeing that new builds especially are offering 4.75% interest rates and $20,000 towards closing. So yes, I think that people are waiting and they're kind of holding strong right now, knowing that they have less money to spend. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I would say people that have waited till the last second with their car breaking, keeping it on life support, right? Are now looking at this as their opportunity to get a car. Hey, look, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully it's not a train coming at me, right? And so they're looking for that opportunity to get that car now, because it's really easy to refinance a car. Like, all right, cool, let me call up my bank now. You gave me this rate at your finance company, and let me call my bank and see what I can get done over there. But yeah, I think that might be what's happening there, especially when you see retail sales coming in high and then but not coming in as high as expected when you take out automobiles. That means there's a lot of automobiles in that number. So interesting to see. Let's jump back to the news and finish that up, guys, and then we'll get back over here. I just wanted to talk on that for a minute because it's, hey, it's a sign of how people are looking in the future. They're thinking that right now I can afford this car in the future. So it gives a little indication of sentiment of the consumer. So jumping back into the news, guys, looking here, 65% chance of 50 basis point cut, pretty much cinched up right now. But a lot of people still think that we're going to see 25 basis points, which is sitting at 35% chance right now. That is really what we have to take into account right now. Is Jerome Powell seeing these new retail numbers? Will this change throughout the day? And I'll keep you updated on that, guys, because I'm going to be live today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Crypto Bloods channel, and then I probably will be doing my the Trade Academy show at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time that day later today by myself, because FD White he is not feeling well, and we need to get that man back up and running. So he's got too many things going on. Let's jump into X, guys. Talk about X marks the spot here real fast. First off, Jenna X. Shout out to Jenna X, my wingman. She is fighting in the IFC4 in Singapore. September 18th. So this is tonight, I believe, is when this is happening, because it's September 18th there tonight. Asian market, right? So she's going to be fighting, but I got to show you this video of her here. This is fantastic. Check this out. She walks out. She does a little weigh in. They tell her that she's good to go. She walks up to her opponent here, and watch her. Jenna X in the blue right there, getting all froggy. Oh, yeah, shoves her. Gives her a nice shove. Hold on, let me get that back in. I moved that just at the wrong time. Here we go. Jenna X. That is Young Crypto Snack that she's going to be fighting. I don't make these names up, guys. But yeah, Jenna X being sponsored by Market Cypher there. Look at all mean. She's going to be fighting in that fight. So hopefully we can get that on X. It's going to be pretty good. I'm excited to see that. And then also, guys, tonight, Crypto Billy Goat Tales with Crypto Billy and the team over there. They're going to be doing dropping some alpha with Crux of Crypto Hot Take. Set a reminder for the upcoming space. I got it there, guys, and I like it. There we go. It's already bookmarked. So, and I set my reminder, so you should do that too. That's what we got for X marks the spot there. This is Bitcoin dominant stuff. We're going to talk about that here in a bit. M2 Global, a little bit of bullishness, a little bit of bearishness. I guess I got a little bit of everything. But let's jump in here and let's get on this retail sales increase. We'll talk about this. This is going to set the tone for what we're seeing here today on the charts, and we're going to look at that all in just right after this. S&P 500 futures rise following retail sales increase. Benchmark nears record before Fed decisions. Live updates. S&P 500 futures climbed higher this morning with that higher than better than expected retail sales data. And that is going to be the last little piece of info that comes out really before the FOMC tomorrow. Microsoft rose 2% after the tech giant hiked its quarterly dividends by 10.7% to 83 cents per share. And the company also approved a $60 billion buyback program. This is actually worrying in comparison to what came out good on here, and I'll explain that why in a second. Latest retail sales data indicated solid consumer health ahead of the Federal Reserve's policy meeting set to begin on Tuesday. Retail sales rose by 0.1% in August versus the Economist estimations for a decline of 0.2%, which we already showed you. Wall Street is on standby for the Fed's long-anticipated rate cut. It's a move that could help boost earnings growth for companies following a backdrop of steep borrowing cost and high inflation. Let's jump back over to the trio cam. Let's talk about why I think that that one piece of data in there, that Microsoft data, being a little bit bad. And the reason for that is because it's a very strange time for Microsoft to come out and go, you know what, we're going to pay you more if you hold our shares, and we're going to do a buyback, which typically rallies a stock also. Am I saying stay away from Microsoft? No, absolutely. Jump in, take advantage of those dividends, and get that typical sentiment rally that occurs from a buyback of $60 billion in shares. But it's just kind of an interesting time, in my opinion, for them to announce this. Like, guys, we could get a shakeout on our stocks in the months ahead. Let's entice people to want to hold their money here at least. So, OC, I'll go with you. What do you think? Is this weird timing on Microsoft, or is it genius timing? Like, are they trying to hold on to every investor they can for what could be? Are they seeing something that the rest of us are being lied to about every day in the finance world? What do you think?
All right, so I do believe that it's a little bit of both. I think this is a little bit weird timing because everything's happening, and also, I mean, now we know that NVIDIA has rebranded itself as an AI company, right? And Microsoft is heavily invested on ChatGPT, so they don't fully own it. They are heavily invested into them, so I think things are coming up in both case scenarios. I mean, one overfeeds the other one, which is economy overfeeds whatever happens with the industry, and the industry reflects back on the advances, right? So AI, despite it's being used for a lot, I mean, basically, I think as users, we have reached a point in which we can no longer use it better in mass let's just say mass usage, right? But also at the same time, I think they're giving away this kind of like a, hey, were you thinking about it? Well, then this is the time. So I think they could be using this revenue money for a couple of reinvesting environment of what might be heading up ahead, and also on the surge or on the drop down on what could be happening also on the AI arena. So I don't know. I would say that it's time to be careful. But absolutely, if you were looking at getting some Microsoft, I don't think Microsoft is going away anytime soon.
Nope.
Especially if especially if the markets are dumping. I mean, what is the most expensive side of computing? I would say custom PCs and Macs, right? And usually custom PCs and Macs use a different OS than Windows. And most of us that will gonna be looking for a cheaper alternative, it's gonna be either you OME or your Windows that comes with your pre-assembled computer, or a cheap code for Windows. So I think it's a smart move from them.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I actually think that this might be a good opportunity for me, not financial advice, for me to dollar cost average into some Microsoft, because if we do get those pullbacks, those are going to be excellent DCA opportunities. And with them upping their dividends by 10%, I like to compound my dividends, because that's the secret to your money making money is compounding interest, just so you guys know. TradeFly, let's go ahead. Do you got anything before we jump over into Bitcoin, start taking a look at this chart? You got anything for the people, or any thoughts on that Microsoft, that retail sales data, that 50 basis point rate cut tomorrow?
So yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of thoughts, and you guys have heard my thought on it. I still think it's going to be a 0.25. I don't think that Powell likes to, make a big change really quick. So we'll see. We have seen this before, where these price cuts have been baked in, or even said they were going to be 100%, and that was like 6 months to a year ago. So here we are.
Yep.
Looking at getting our first one. So it'd be very interesting that we come in swinging with a 0.5, and I see that finger up. So I will let you say what you got to say.
So you got two people in the markets right now. You got people that go, if we do 50 basis points, this is going to lower that loan cost down quicker for corporations, meaning they can take out money loans for cheaper, meaning they get more bang for their buck, which means more profits, which means more liquidity. Those people are one half of the market. The other half of the people that go, if he does 25 basis points, it's a good sign of healthy return back to normal. It's a good sign. So you've got this two people that actually are looking at the pros of their preferred rate cut, 50 basis points versus 25 basis points. I think that either way, we have a volatile reaction from the other half, because obviously if they have pros for the 25 basis points, they got the reasons that they don't want 50 basis points. Or if they've got pros 50 basis points, they've got the reasons that they don't want. Like the pro 50 basis point guys would be like, well, 25 basis points means that it's still going to be costing more money while things are getting tighter and tighter economically, retail, consumer-wise, and they need that money to be able to come from loans, since they're not getting, there's a lot of angles slicing across this 50 and 25 basis points. So I think either way tomorrow, we get a shakeout, because half of the market has baked in for 50, half of the market has baked in for 25. And when they find out that they were wrong, you're going to have a 50% sell-off, I think. So not 50% drop, but half of the market is going to be wrong and have reactions to that. So just thoughts on that. I think you're right too. I could see 50 or 25 basis points either way, but I really do think that the markets will react either way. Thoughts on that?
I mean, my question is something wrong if they actually do a 50? Because Powell the entire time has said, I am only going to do these incremental changes, and he has stuck to that. We have not seen a 0.5 at any point. It's been a 0.25 every step of the way.
So there is a reason to do 50. We are on the cliff of lagging indicators, meaning they may have waited too late already. They should have cut rates back in July, like I was screaming back then, because the economy is a lagging indication of what the Federal Reserve has done previously. If they wait and do 25, I think that we start to slide down gravel on the edge of that cliff. And I think the Federal Reserve knows that. So they've got to they've got to make a reaction that kind of gets us onto that glide path of where they project us to be 3 months and 6 months from now. So I think there is an argument for 50 basis points tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't deny that there's an argument for sure. There's probably been an argument for more than just, what's coming tomorrow. But, I'm just trying to go back to what Powell has been preaching the whole time. And for him to go against what he's been preaching indicates to me that there is a larger issue.
I think that he comes out tomorrow. They go, we did 50 basis points. And he comes out and he goes very dovishly, we're doing okay. I think either way, there's going to be a shakeout. Don't get me wrong. If he comes out and it's 25 basis points and then he comes onto the thing and goes, guys, everything is great. We're on glide path. Then America's going to go, you're lying. You're a liar. I'm out. Right? If he comes on and he does 50 basis points and goes, guys, everything's okay. We just, we want to make sure that we get ahead of this. And, we looking for the soft landing. People are going to freak out and go, you're lying. There's really nothing he can say tomorrow with 25 or 50 that's going to settle the consumer and the investor world. So it's really just going to be a matter of how he frames the narrative of whatever rate cut it is. That's going to be 100% the deciding factor to the market's reaction tomorrow. Is going to be how well do you speak, not how well did you do the Fed Reserve, not how well has you and your team made decisions over the past year, not what is your plan 6 months from now, not how many basis points are you going to cut. It is how well he speaks words out of his mouth and that half hour following. And that's really what's going to matter for the markets this week.
So here's one for you. If we get, what do you think's better? If we see a 0.25 or a 0.5, and when I say that, I don't mean what's actually better. I just mean what will the market react better to?
I think the markets react better. I think the markets react better. Man, this is hard. I would say I think they react better to 25 because that indicates a soft landing. But most people are smart enough to know that Fed Reserve, you waited too damn long to cut rates. So, I really think that tomorrow we get sell off regardless. Just because, like I said, yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a rough day.
There's indecision, and people don't know what's coming. We're sitting here talking about it. We have no idea if it's going to be a 0.25 or a 0.5. I think sell off happens today.
I tell you, I read this stuff all the time, guys. I am more plugged into the economic data than most of the crypto YouTubers in the space. I'm always looking at it. This is what I do all day long. And I cannot give you an answer. If someone put a gun to my head right now and said 50 basis points or 100 basis points, this is going to be me right here. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. Okay. That is what I'm seeing. If that happened, I can't give you a 50 or 75 basis point decision right now. And it's really going to be dependent on what Jerome Powell says. But let's get into the chart. Let's talk about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin dominance, guys. The longer I'm in crypto, the more I understand Bitcoin maxis. I'm just going to put that out there. Really, everything else out there is you're running a risk gamble. I mean, there's some great projects. There's Ondo, there's Near, there's Link. Even Solana, with all of its faults, is still a decent project. Cardano is still but they're all really casino-ish gambles in comparison to Bitcoin. So, and we're going to look at that dominance and take a look at it today. Right now, let's jump over to the charts and let's see what we're seeing here, guys. Bitcoin yesterday, I said, watch for this level right there. That's that level. I entered the long there. I'm in a long right now. I'm probably going to close it out because it's doing pretty decent. Adding from my profits on those longs to my short, because I do think ultimately we get some pullback down to that $51,000 range again. So I am riding a short down to there, but I am in a long that I got in last night right there at the line that I told you guys about. I'm watching right here. We did get this downtrend arrow here. That's what led to that pullback here. I'm looking at 12-hour charts. So a couple of days ago, we did get that pullback here. That was on Saturday night into Sunday morning. I'm watching right here, though. We're starting to get another little curve up here on the Oscillator Pro ribbon. Now, another thing that I'm seeing here, though, guys, money flow. if I got to bring this in really good, money flow has started to curve up on the 12-hour right there. That's what it's doing. And top it off, we're looking like we could get a bounce right now on the 0.66. This area that we just wicked down to, that is the golden pocket. Remember, this golden pocket, this is pulled from 2019 through 2020. It's a trend-based fib extension. So this is going off of huge historical data to pull this local fib that you're seeing there in play. I think that we do get another little bounce up. I'm going to probably be looking to close my long out here on the Chart Prime Dynamic Reactor where we've had all of this reaction before. That's going to be where I look to take my profits out of that long, flip it back and add into my short for the way down in hedge mode, running that. But the one thing I want to pull up over here, and I'll let the guys dig in on their Bitcoin look, but I want to show you guys the dominance, guys. This was the line down here, 54.5. I said, this is a key level. If we hold this, if we fall below this, altcoin season kicks off, right? That's what I said. Oh, sir, go back. I did not tell you to move. Thank you very much. We got a bounce here on it, pulled up above the quantum reactor, dynamic reactor, and we are now currently sitting at 58%. I will say that we do have the possibility here that we're going to get a flip up here and then a pullback just because we've had divergence after divergence after divergence, and we need to create another higher low for another higher high. At 60% dominance, guys, if we don't reject off of that, I think at that point you have to start questioning if there's retail has come back yet. Because let's be honest, retail moves into altcoins a lot heavier than they do into Bitcoin as far as their degen moves. And once they start seeing FOMO taking place, then typically that's retail coming in. So I don't think we've had full retail run in yet, and at all the cycle. I don't think retail has returned to all of crypto. That's why you haven't seen a lot of broad blanket moves of altcoins. It's been this one, and then they come out of that, and then they go to this one, and that's why you've seen these little spikes of pumps across smaller selection of tokens from retail. I don't think they have fully came back this cycle. So, but I just want to show you guys that Bitcoin dominance. Pretty interesting stuff there. And then the last thing before I hand this over to TradeFly and OC to talk about what they're seeing is this chart right here, guys. This is Bitcoin versus the M2 money flow cycle. And you can see here, anytime that M2 on a 10-week lead has showed a pull to the upside, Bitcoin typically follows. You can see it down here, took off. It's on a 10-week lead. By the time Bitcoin got over there, it took off, right? So this was actually printed up here on the M2 when money flow was here, or when Bitcoin was here, just like Bitcoin is here now with a 10-week lead from the M2 money supply. And if we go in and we take a look at that, he dropped one more thing on that chart. It is going to be, well, let me get in there. Thank you. Number two, this is the GMI. This is global. This is the global monetary index here for total global liquidity versus Bitcoin. And again, on a 10-week lead, it has shown every time what's going on. Guys, money printers were turned on a while ago. And I said this when I showed you that Janet Yellen was buying back old bonds. Do you guys remember that? She was buying the bonds that banks were upside down on and then at a loss to the taxpayer, and then giving those banks the opportunity to buy the current rate bonds. That printed money. That was liquidity. So we are seeing some signs here from the global liquidity market and the M2 money supply for the US liquidity market that on a 10-week lead, Bitcoin could be taken off. Now, this doesn't mean that Bitcoin's price just moonshots. It means that it does decently well, like it withholding its value. I bought quite a bit more back there on that bottom level at about 55.6, I think it was. So, but I'm mostly sitting on Bitcoin, just so you guys know. But let's kick it over to TradeFly. I just wanted to bring up that little interesting chart there of the M2 money supply on a 10-week lead and what has happened with Bitcoin. TradeFly, let's jump over to your chart. Let's see what you're seeing on the heat map, and then let's kick it over to OC, get this wrap up on Bitcoin.
All right, let's do it. It's starting to heat up. You can see it here. Most of the liquidity is sitting to the top side of the price action right now, but there is liquidity on the bottom side as well. All right. So you got hot spots on both the bottom and the top. But where's the alligator closest to the boat? I always tell you guys, look for that. All right. It's to the top side. And we are seeing an uptrend in price action, right? So we've kind of bounced from about 57.6 all the way up to about 59,450, cleared out a little bit of liquidity, but really the hot spot is sitting at about 60,500, 60,700. So this is how I know y'all are gluttons for punishment, man. Y'all taking some leverage long or leverage short positions. Let's look at it on the chart. And that is right at resistance. So that is crazy business, right? So you have it up here where the dynamic reactor is, as well as the top part of this falling wedge. That is where 60,700 is. So those people are just begging to get liquidated. It's kind of crazy to think about. So it's a personal thing. If I was looking to put a stop loss.
By the way, that quantum reactor and dynamic reactor on the 12-hour is literally coming in at that range also. So, which is where I said I think we pump up to before we reject.
Right. So like that's within striking distance. And so I think it's kind of crazy. Personal thing for me, like if I was going to be looking at a stop loss or a position that could potentially get liquidated, we're talking low capital, high leverage kind of deal. I would definitely put it over resistance, not underneath or right on. That's crazy business. That's just asking for trouble.
Aim high, Air Force.
Yeah. Do a little of that. Sounds better. So just want to point that out to you guys. Definitely stay away from that. Don't be one of those. But if we do break through that area, which I don't know is very likely leading into tomorrow's events, you got the 200 SMA on the daily, right? That's sitting at about 64K, but that's kind of like there's a little gap, right? A little gap between here and there. At least on the daily, we could probably look at the 4 hour. You probably see some other moving averages, and let's actually go down to the 4 hour and just take a look, see real quick. So yeah, not a whole lot to write home about, to be honest with you. In terms of resistance. So yeah, I would say right here, I mean, if you're just looking at the chart, if you zoom out and you're kind of looking at it right here at about 63.3, you'll see some support and resistance areas, right? You see it right here, right here, right here, and it all kind of lines up. You see resistance and support. So, you could have a little pit stop there, but your bigger area is going to be about 65 on the 4 hour. So that is that. You also have this channel that's going up and right. It looks like we did have a breakout. It was looking for a smart target right around 56.7. I believe we talked about that at some point. It may have been yesterday on the Crypto Nightcap.
It was on Nightcap.
Okay, yeah. So, we're actually retesting this channel right now. So we're retesting this channel and we're getting close to resistance, that I showed you on the daily. So it's going to be tough, man. It would be tough for me to get into a long position where we're at right now, just based on there being resistance. I mean, and retesting multiple areas. There's just too much confluence, at least with some of the patterns and the resistance, just horizontal levels, and all. There's just too much going on right now for me. Again, and we're leading into a lot of volatility for tomorrow, which is going to have a big impact. And I will say the trend going into these events is a little bit of a pullback the day prior. So we'll see what happens, unless people are ahead of it and have some kind of like information that we don't have, which is possible. You might see some movement, but I'm expecting volatility. So I'm going to be pretty conservative right now for today. I'm probably going to chillax, take a nap, and just let it play out here. Because I don't feel comfortable with doing anything until things settle out and we find out what's going on tomorrow. But like I said, in terms of what can get hit, 60,700 is definitely something that can get hit today, and so I'd be careful with that. If you're in a short position, looking at the oscillator, I mean on the 4 hour at least, it looks like it's spinning back up to the right. You got that reversal there that kind of coincided with that breakout. So it's moving up right now. But there's still going to be resistance right here. You got to break this area that we've already tested. That got up to about 60,600. That just makes too much sense, man. For me, it makes way too much sense to go up there, clear out that liquidity before you see that movement to the downside. So that's probably what I'd be looking for. Personally, is something around 60,600, 60,700. If we continue that move up and right, before seeing a rejection. So
Right.
that's kind of what I'm looking at on Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bluff City Break said you're getting a little pop in your thing. Maybe check your cord on your microphone. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing too. If you want to check that TradeFly before we come back to you. OC, let's kick it over to you. Let's see what you're seeing on there. And then real fast, I just want to show TradeFly because he's going to like this. Bank of America sees rate cuts propelling gold to $3,000. And this is the way to play it. So just little gold action there for TradeFly because he likes his gold. But OC, let's go over and check out your charts.
I love gold.
We know you do. We know you do.
Double kill.
So basically, let's take a look at what we've been looking at before. At this point, remember I opened up a short all the way down here. I did take 50% out and move my stop to entry. I'm holding that position still. I'm about to get stopped out if I haven't. And that is because I always move my stop to entry and slightly a bit more into the green. Why? To compensate for any fees that I might be applying to my account, right? Something important that I want to note, it is, I was saying that breaking through the dynamic reactor and coming back up above, that might be a fake out, which seems to be playing out as a fake out, right? So at this point, when am I going to be maybe jumping back into a long position? This could be a little bit of a danger, but I will still just wait for the rebound to break through the zero lining here. So once I see it happening, the true 7 pumping back up and also flipping up right here on the money flow, which by the way, money flow is looking great. I just want to see that a little bit more influx on it. That's what I'm considering to jump back into a long. Or if I go back up and retest this area right here, I will be going for an overshooting here. Here's a little bit of a different opinion, guys. If you look at what TradeFly was saying on his liquidity areas, he had a bunch of liquidations possible going up in here. So let's also think about what happens with momentum, right? When we start going into a chain reaction of liquidations, remember a liquidation, it is selling on longs, on shorts, it is buying back. So basically what's going to happen, if we liquidate shorts, we're going to be buying back that Bitcoin, right? And what could happen? Well, this could happen right here. So that's what I talked about, an overshoot, and my overshoot area will be above out of this area right here, which is, by the way, the high area of the Wyckoff chapter here, or the Wyckoff charts, right? That will give me maybe an overshoot distance of around 63K to play around. So just be careful in there. If you're planning to enter back into a short, make sure you have confirmation before you start just hitting that sell button. Why? Because there's a ton of shorts all the way here, just waiting to get liquidated. And once again, remember, liquidating longs, it's selling; liquidating shorts, it's buying back that Bitcoin. All right. Other than that, I think just holding for now. It's gonna be my played out. And yeah, very quick, just on SPX, we were looking at this symmetrical triangle, and we are right now piercing through. So despite we could be having a good movement to the upside, we still need to wait for that volatility that we're going to be seeing tomorrow. I think that 25 points might be the optimal played out for the government, and that is because you can still play the card of uncertainty. And that's what I got, guys.
Awesome. Clean. Let's jump over here. I'm actually seeing something going on right now on Bitcoin. We just talked about this just a second ago. What I'm seeing here is Bitcoin. I'm looking at my side-by-side view here, guys, with my RSI heat map over here on the right side. And we are coming up on that dynamic reactor that I just talked about is coming up too. I want to point something out. This level of the quantum reactor that I'm watching for us to cut, get that cut on, is coming in right here at about 61,281. That would be right in line over here. You see how everything is like synchronized here? It's right there at the top of area, 61,400 area for its rejection today. I do think that we do get a little pump action here today. Makes a little next local higher high, and then we look at that pullback going into the FOMC tomorrow. So, guys, looking here, you can see the Heikinashis on the RSI primed. This is a free indicator from Chart Prime. It turns the RSI ribbon into Heikinashi candles. And we are starting to get this higher candle here, indicating that this is making a bounce to the upside, just like we saw here. Nice little bounce here, nice little bounce. I do think that this is setting up for another run to the upside. When this turns red, I will be looking to get out of my long and then flip more money into my short. So that's how I'm playing that game right there. We got about 13 minutes. Tradefly, did you fix your audio?
I don't know. You guys tell me. Does it sound all right now?
It's not popping.
Let me know
I
in the
think
chat.
we're okay. I think you're good, bro. What are you
Okay.
seeing on your charts? I think it's time to take a ride on the Soul Train. You got the Soul Train ready?
I'm working it right now, actually. I'm bringing it up. So here we go. You ready? All right. Sitting on the 4-hour right now. Let's actually go to the... There it is, dude. We need to get a train, like a audio sound. I'll work on that. I'll get something. All right. Looking at the daily right now for Soul. And again, it's kind of the story or the trend of a lot of these tokens right now is it's near resistance. All right. So you got the point of control. We've been talking about that at 144. You have the dynamic reactor over top of it. There's a lot to work through for price action to go up and right. And you see this trend. This trend line is going down and right now. So it's putting some pressure on it. And, it kind of looks like a descending triangle to me. I know that Chart Prime's kind of broken it out based on the wicks here. Looks like a fallen wedge. But to me, I'm seeing more of a descending triangle, right? So kind of a flat level of support here with a down and right trend line. That's kind of showing me that there's building pressure to the downside for Soul. So we've come down, we've retested this area. Specifically the value area low, we haven't had hardly any closes under that. I mean, you could say this was barely a close below the value area low, which is at about 126. And then you have wicks coming off about 121. So I will say that I am, interested in the areas because if you're just taking the wicks right here, now you turn this into a symmetrical triangle. So there's patterns all over, patterns within patterns. But the bigger pattern to me is a descending descending triangle, right? But then it's smaller, if you take it 3/4 of the way, you have a symmetrical triangle. So there is potential for a breakout, but that's very contingent on Bitcoin, right? And what news happens tomorrow. So again, it's kind of that wait and see approach that I'm really, taking right now. I will say that if it does come down to 121, I will be very clear with you. I am going to buy Soul at 121. If it comes to 121, I personally will buy Soul. And you can check the receipts on that one after the fact. So I will be looking for that. I'm not saying it's going to go there, but if it does, I have no issue with picking up some Soul. And just look at it. Look at how many times we've retested that area of 121. Now, that being said, if you test it too many times, there's more potential that it could break through and go to the downside. But I'm okay with that. 121, it seems like a good price for me. Soul has been up to $200 more than once in its life cycle, right? So if you scroll back and you're looking at where did it go last time, it was over 200. So I don't see any reason for Soul not to reclaim that level at some point. But what I'm really looking for is a play up to 162. That's kind of my area that I'm looking for, just based on some of these horizontal levels of support and resistance. 162 is kind of my high side target, we'll say in the kind of the midterm. But again, 121, definitely a buy area for me. If it breaks down from that, then, it could get a little bit ugly. We could see kind of lower levels all the way down to about 83. That's definitely in play. 110 is kind of a pit stop because that's the top side of this range. You will see that a lot of times. It'll come down and kind of flip these areas. But I mean, I think it's going to hold 121 personally, unless it gets real ugly in the market and we get some really poor economic data, which we're trending in that direction. But it is what it is. 121, that's a buy area. Point of control 144. You're probably going to see an initial rejection in this area. If it does get over top, you can already see the arrow that I have here that I'll be looking for. You'll want to see that OC retest on the top side of the point of control, as well as the dynamic reactor. And that will give us the warm and fuzzy that we should see some movement up and right up to about 162. You can see the 200 SMAs in there right at the smart target. That there's a lot of confluence in that area as well. But I think if we get above point of control, 162 is in the cards. So that's what I'm looking at for SOL. Hasn't really changed much since the last time we talked about it. Pass it on to the next guy.
Awesome. OC, what do you got for us on your alt side? By the way, guys, Dow Jones up about 0.5% right now. S&P up a little bit higher than that. And the NASDAQ getting a decent little rally. Yeah, S&P's up 0.55% right now. And the NASDAQ up 0.74% on the daily right now in the open. So they are continuing their move to the upside right now also, as Bitcoin is doing like we called. So OC, let's kick it over to you, and then we'll come back and check out Ondo. I'm going to finish it out with some Ondo today.
Absolutely. Before I take a look at Injective, let me just first talk about NVIDIA very quick. It's just a quick mention that we are on track on what we were looking at, just basically bouncing back inside this huge symmetrical triangle. So just be careful on NVIDIA. Seems like we want to make lower highs once again, but we have dynamic reactor coming in hot, right? So just keep a look at this. I will be picking up maybe some NVIDIA in the couple of near months. That's going to be between October and November. I'll let you know exactly when I pick up NVIDIA. If that becomes a reality sooner, well, then I'll also let you know. But we're building up right here a bullish divergence. And I mean, we're having a higher low despite having a lower high in here, right? So that's why I'm telling you guys, be careful with NVIDIA. Might surprise us all before the end of this upcoming month, the end of October, right? On Injective, we're talking about Injective. Yesterday, I was talking about this range that we had in here, right? We have an alert in here at crossing 1763. That was my possible entry zone. As you can see, it was so close, did not ring. So therefore, I did not enter on that trade. Nonetheless, we are still waiting for maybe a push to the zero line in here, to the zero line on the oscillator right down here, and maybe consider a next movement to the downside. So far, since we still have a little bit to go here, we could be pushing upwards and right? So just look for that possibility of jumping back in. When could you maybe jump back in? Well, when we start seeing something like that, maybe a retest, fast retest, and then breakthrough of that zero line for a movement to the upside. If not, I will be just letting it go for maybe a possible short all the way up here. Once again, stay away from volatility if we are up there and then we're having the announcement of the rate hike. So just be careful throughout those times, because it seems to be that we're going to be having it at the same sort of timing. But other than that, turn it back to you guys.
Awesome. Guys, reminder, I talked earlier this week. I talked yesterday, I believe it was. I said, hey, we've got Friday as another event coming up that might be bigger than the FOMC. And it was about the Japanese carry trade unwinding part 2, because Bank of Japan is discussing possibility of raising their rates another 25 basis points, an increase, a rate hike for Japan, because their inflation is still out of control right now. The last time we had that major dump on all of the markets was the Japanese carry trade when they raised their rates 25 basis points last time. And there was talks about that. I just want to show you guys, though, this morning, if you go and watch this video, Good Morning Crypto from this morning, this is Blackie Chan, BC Port Corp, and Lunar Beaches. BC Port Corp broke down a really good article where they were talking about that they're saying December is where they will likely see that rate hike come in. They don't think they're going to do it this week. So I have to step back and roll back on the narrative. And, you guys just say he's changing gears. No, this is called the analytical cycle. You get new information and you have to adapt that new information into the analytical cycle and reprocess. Okay, this is how it works. If we don't get a rate hike from Japan this week and we do what indicates a soft landing of 25 basis points, I do think that we could get the October-November pump. And then December comes along people start to sell off to take profits for end of year, do their, their wash trades and all that stuff to get their tax stuff in line at the same time that the Bank of Japan does their rate cuts. I do think that is possible. If these all occur and line up perfectly, we are on the glide path for October and November pump. So I just want to put that out there. Go watch this video. It's a really good video. Again, it's Good Morning Crypto. It's the morning pre-market open show this on here on Piper Academy, and it was out this morning. The title is $92,000, the next target for Bitcoin. Go check that video out. So, and Alexander G just dropped it right there in the chat for us. So that's awesome. Let's go check out Ondo. And let's get this in line here, guys. You guys see all these little circles? These are all touches on very, very key resistance, diagonal resistance here on Ondo. And I talked on Monday about the fact that it looked like we were coming in on that line for a break. Let's go ahead and just let this play here on the replay. And I'll show you guys what's happening here right now. You can see we got a little breakout. It pulled back down and we rejected off of that value area low. Okay. Something that's interesting though, right now though, is guys, this is considered what OC likes to call the OC retest. And it looks like we're now getting that break above, a retest above that line and starting to move up. I'm going to be watching for two key levels. One key level is going to be 65 cents. The other key level is going to be 62 cents. So 62 to 65 cents. Let's go ahead and throw a range, resistance range box on there. Let's grab that and let's place this here and see how this looks a little bit later, because right now getting this retest off of this old trend line, guys, could be an indication that we're at least going to pay a visit if we get through that range of resistance there up to the dynamic reactor in the golden pocket here, which is 75 cents. There's a good trade setup here on Ondo right now. Looking at the oscillator, we do have volume that's coming down right now, but it looks like it's starting to level out already and starting to get that wave again. So it is very possible that on top of money flow, you can see that money flow is this wave right here. It pulled back and now it's starting to come up. Money flow is also starting to come up. And then we also have the oscillator ribbon giving a little curvature there. If we put this onto the side-by-side and bring this in to focus with my side-by-side chart, you will see here, we're looking pretty good for a setup here on the RSI primed and the coloration, getting that same candle mode that I told you guys about Bitcoin earlier that gave me indication that Bitcoin was going to move to the upside. Looks like Ondo could be setting up for a really, really good long right now. So there's my Ondo TA. We are at the bottom of the hour. It's time to wrap it up and go raid Randy Hipper. We are redirecting to her. Why? Because that's what you do when you have a decent community. You redirect them to other decent shows in the community because we're not isolationists. We want to be part of the bigger crypto space. And Randy Hipper, that's who we chose to redirect to. So TradeFly, what do you have for the people today on the way out? Any advice, any words of wisdom from the man who flies?
Nah, man, I don't really have too much. Excited to do the crypto nightcap this evening with FD. Hopefully he's feeling better. If not, I think Alex O is going to be hopping on tonight. So check us out at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. And then, we do that every Monday through Thursday. So I'll be looking forward to seeing some of you over there. And you guys have a great day.
Awesome. Yeah. Also, I'm going to be, I'll wrap all that up after OC. OC, tell these people what they get for smashing that beautiful like button. Or as Alexander G likes to say, lick the like button. If your phone tastes like barbecue, you need to wash it after eating brisket. There you go.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much for joining. A special thanks if you guys have been here for a while. If you are new, also a quick reminder to click that like button, because if you do, amazing things happen. One of those, I know Black Friday, it's a little bit far away still, but it's a great way to start practicing those elbow moves when getting some stuff. So when you're clicking that like button, you're gonna have a guarantee not to have oh my God, I completely forgot about this. Not to have, it just erased out of my brain. Oh my God, sorry, Jenna X next to you on the Black Friday, because it's going to be scary. So click the like button and that will defend you out of Jenna X.
I love it. I love it. Guys, I'm going to be live this afternoon. First of all, you two, thanks for joining me this morning on the Morning Market Report. It's always great to have the whole team here. Guys, I'm going to be here live this afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Crypto Blood. I'll be over there. And then at 4 p.m., I will be, that one right there. And then at 4 p.m., I will be live with Trade Academy, breaking down where we are in the market close, because that comes out right about the market close. It's pretty good timing there for that. That is all today. And then this evening, again, like TradeFly said, catch the nightcap with maybe Alex O Crypto. It's going to be pretty awesome. FD White, you're in our thoughts. We hope that you feel better, man. And to all the alumni, thank you for joining us here today on the Morning Market Report on Piper Academy. You guys are the reason we do what we do, and we'll be back here tomorrow morning doing it all over again with FOMC Day, guys. Trade safe, and as always, use a stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find
Oh yeah, Billy Goat Tells tonight, guys, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Crux of Crypto. Go check them out.
I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, Crux Crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Tar Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low. Sound off.
To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni. You know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude.